Polygons are any shape with 3 or more sides. The polygon tool allows you to choose the quantity of sides and the method used to define the shape. Let's go ahead and click on the top plane, start a sketch, and come up here to the polygon tool under the sketch palette and click on that. Notice I can have the option to create a polygon purely for construction. I can define how many sides it has. I'm going to go ahead and start with a 5-sided shape. And I can use either an inscribed or a circumscribed circle. I can define the center point. I can also define the size. Or I can just go ahead and define that in the sketch. So go ahead and choose the origin, click, and drag out your shape. And go ahead and click again. And notice as soon as I do that, I've got the circle that controls the size, and I got my shape here. So what I can do now is I can define the size of that circle. Maybe we'll say 3.0. And if I want to square this thing up, I can click on maybe one of these line segments in the bottom and say that's horizontal. And now everything turns black. It's fully defined. It knows where the center point is, and it knows its size, and it knows the angle it's at. Then what you can use is if you have a shape like this, you can actually use that as construction geometry for other shapes. For instance, if I were to take any one of these line segments or all of them and select them all holding down Control and say for construction, switch over to that, then I can use this as a controlling shape to define something else. For instance, if I wanted to draw a star, I could start from down here and just copy from point to point. Quick way to draw a star. Nice, easy way to control it from there. And then if I wanted to ever change the size, just double click on it, 4.0, adjust the size. Okay, go ahead and delete that. Now if we go back to the polygon tool, this time I'm going to use a circumscribed circle, and this time I'm going to make a 7-sided shape. Again, I'm going to choose either from the origin or somewhere else. This time I'm just going to draw it over here, and there's my shape. Now this time it has a circle on the outside controlling it, and of course I can go ahead and dimension this. I can override it if I want by just double clicking it, and of course I can move that around the screen. I can come back up here again. I can choose maybe an octagon, 8-sided. We'll make it a circumscribed circle and drag it out. And this one, I can easily dimension from one line segment to the other segment and give it a 5-inch dimension. If I wanted to, I can change the angle of this. So what I could use is maybe a couple center lines. I could say from this line here, I'm just going to go ahead and draw a horizontal line out. And then maybe again, I'll draw one more line to one of the endpoints. Then I can define a angle between the two. Maybe we'll say 30 degrees. And of course it's still blue because it doesn't know where it is in space. So I could grab the center point or any one of these corners and snap it to the origin if I wanted to. Or what I could use is maybe a couple center lines and define from the origin a line out to here and then a line to the center point. Then add a couple dimensions there. In this case here 6.0, and over here we'll say 1.0. Now everything turns black and knows exactly where it is and knows exactly what angle it is. I can obviously change any one of these values here, maybe 60 degrees. Everything spins around, it still stays black. It's fully defined. Again, I can come up here and change the size, 3.0, adjust it, and everything looks good. It works good. And it allows you to lay out things very easily using these nice polygons, which really save you a lot of work when you're working through multi-sided shapes. I also want to point out that you can delete parts of the polygon. In this case here, I have a 7-sided shape. Notice it's created using these patterned lines. So if I click on any one of those, I hit delete. Now what I can do is actually grab one of these shapes and just drag it around to create some new shape that I might be using. So you can use polygons as a starting point for a multi-sided shape and easily delete the relationships you don't need or continue to add them back in to create whatever shape you want. The polygon tool is easy to use and saves a lot of time over creating shapes with just the line command. It also allows the user to later edit the polygon without changing or re-adding relations or dimensions.